What if I told you that while you were sleeping, while you were going about your day completely unaware, one of the largest financial institutions in the world just made a quiet, almost imperceptible change that could potentially alter the financial future of thousands of people watching this very video? This isn't a drill, and this isn't speculation based on some obscure forum post. This is a direct look at the very mechanisms of global finance and the persistent, swirling rumors surrounding the Iraqi dinar and Vietnamese dong. For years, the dream of a revaluation, an RV, has been a beacon of hope for many, a chance at financial freedom that always seems to be just one news cycle away, but today feels different because the chatter has shifted from the fringe blogs and into the hallowed halls of mainstream banking giants, specifically Bank of America. We are talking about a bank with a presence in every major corner of the United States, a bank whose name is synonymous with the very establishment that governs our monetary system. The alert that has sent shockwaves through the investor community is the notion that Bank of America has quietly updated its internal rates for the Iraqi dinar and the Vietnamese dong. Now, let's be perfectly clear and dissect what this actually means, because the devil, as always, is in the details. When we say quietly updated, we are referring to the bank's internal foreign exchange systems, the real-time data feeds that determine the buy and sell rates for any given currency they deal with. This isn't about a public announcement or a press release, it's about the operational machinery of the bank humming along, making micro-adjustments as it does every single day for hundreds of currencies. The critical question we must ask is whether this was a routine update, a simple reflection of the minuscule daily fluctuations in the forex market, or something far more significant, a preparatory move, a calibration of systems in anticipation of a larger, more seismic shift in value. The very fact that people are monitoring Bank of America's internal systems with such hawk-eyed attention tells you everything you need to know about the level of anticipation surrounding these currencies. Proponents of the revaluation theory will point to this as undeniable proof that the wheels are in motion, that the banks are getting their digital houses in order before the floodgates open. They argue that banks don't just waste processing power on currencies with no potential. Every algorithmic tweak is a calculated decision. The counterargument, of course, is that a global bank like Bank of America must maintain accurate, real-time data on virtually every traded currency on the planet, regardless of its current volatility or trading volume, simply to facilitate international wire transfers, corporate liquidity operations, and for the sake of comprehensive global coverage. So, the act of an update itself is not inherently miraculous. However, the specific nature of the update is what fuels the speculation. Was it a simple change to the fifth decimal place, or was there a more substantial recalibration? The lack of transparency is what creates the vacuum filled by hope and analysis. This event cannot be viewed in isolation. It must be seen as one piece of a much larger, more complex puzzle that involves the geopolitical stability of Iraq, the economic reforms being undertaken by the Vietnamese government, and the relentless pressure of the United States Treasury and the International Monetary Fund on both nations to bring their financial practices into the 21st century. Iraq is sitting on an ocean of oil, one of the world's most valuable natural resources, yet its currency remains at a fraction of a penny. The fundamental economic argument for a revaluation has always been there, grounded in the sheer disparity between the nation's potential wealth and the current expression of its monetary value. The recent movements, including these alleged bank updates, are seen by many as the first tremors before the earthquake, the subtle signs that the dam of resistance is about to break. This is why you are here watching this video right now. You are not just looking for information, you are looking for confirmation, for a signal amidst the noise. And that is exactly what we will continue to do. Stay with me, because in the next segment, we will dive deep into the on-the-ground reality in Iraq and Vietnam, analyzing the recent news that makes this Bank of America alert more than just a routine financial data refresh. What is happening right now that could justify such a monumental shift in global currency values? Don't go anywhere. The most critical information is coming up next. To truly understand the gravity of these quiet updates from a financial giant like Bank of America, we must pull back the curtain and look at the raw, unfiltered economic and political transformations currently underway in both Iraq and Vietnam, because these are not static nations. They are dynamic economies actively laying the groundwork for a new financial reality, and the evidence is piling up by the day. Let's start with Iraq, a nation whose story is inextricably linked to both immense wealth and devastating conflict. The Central Bank of Iraq has been engaged in a relentless, multifaceted campaign to stabilize the dinar and, most importantly, to unshackle itself from the dollar-dominated financial system that has controlled its commerce since the war. This is not a minor policy shift. This is a financial revolution playing out in real time. The Iraqi government has been aggressively pursuing what they call de-dollarization, a strategic move to reduce their economy's dependence on the US dollar for internal transactions and to bolster the use of their own national currency. Why does this matter? Because for a revaluation to be structurally possible, there must be robust internal demand and faith in the dinar, and you cannot build that faith if your own citizens and businesses prefer to transact in a foreign currency. Recent reports confirm that the Iraqi government is now mandating that all internal transactions, from real estate purchases to vehicle sales, be conducted exclusively in Iraqi dinar, a monumental decree that instantly creates massive internal demand for the currency. Furthermore, the Central Bank of Iraq has been working tirelessly to modernize its banking sector, implementing international anti-money laundering standards, and improving its digital payment infrastructure to create a more transparent and efficient financial system that the global community can trust. This is a direct response to one of the biggest historical hurdles for the dinar: transparency. The international community, including the World Bank and the IMF, has been demanding these very reforms for years, and now that they are being implemented with tangible progress, it removes a significant barrier to the currency's potential reassessment. Now, let's pivot to Vietnam, whose economic ascent is nothing short of remarkable. The Vietnamese dong operates within a tightly controlled band by the State Bank of Vietnam, and while its journey has been different from Iraq's, the trajectory toward international legitimacy is equally compelling. Vietnam has become a global manufacturing hub, a compelling alternative to China, attracting billions in foreign direct investment from the world's top technology and electronics giants. This influx of capital strengthens the country's foreign exchange reserves, which in turn provides a solid foundation for its currency. The Vietnamese government understands that to continue this explosive growth and fully integrate into the global financial system, it needs a stable and stronger currency to combat inflation and increase its international purchasing power. They have been progressively loosening their control over the dong, allowing it to appreciate in a managed manner, a clear signal of growing confidence in their own economic stability. When you combine these two powerful narratives, Iraq's aggressive de-dollarization and banking reforms with Vietnam's explosive economic growth and managed currency strengthening, the notion of a bank like Bank of America quietly updating its rates begins to look less like a routine administrative task and more like a strategic, forward-looking recalibration. These banks have access to economic data and intelligence that the average person does not. Their algorithms are designed to anticipate macroeconomic shifts, not just react to them. The quiet update could very well be the canary in the coal mine, an institutional acknowledgement that the fundamental picture for these currencies is changing faster than the public narrative suggests. The path to a revaluation is not paved with a single event but with 1,000 small steps of reform, stability, and global re-engagement, and both Iraq and Vietnam are marching decisively down that path right now. This context transforms the Bank of America alert from a mere data point into a potential symptom of a much larger, impending shift. But understanding the why is only half the battle. The other half is understanding the what next. What does this mean for you, the investor, the observer, the person hoping for a change in their financial destiny? That is the most critical piece of this puzzle, and we will explore the immediate implications and the actionable steps you need to consider right now in the final part of this discussion. The information is coming fast, and staying ahead of the curve is paramount. So, where does all of this leave us? We have the tantalizing signal from a banking behemoth, we have the undeniable and rapid-fire economic reforms on the ground in Baghdad and Hanoi, and we have the palpable, building pressure from the international community for these nations to fully normalize their currencies. This convergence of factors creates a potent cocktail of possibility that cannot and should not be ignored. But this is the moment where hope must be tempered with a heavy dose of strategic reality. The journey from where we are now to a full-scale revaluation is not a straight line. It is a minefield of volatility, misinformation, and profound geopolitical complexity. The first and most critical reality to internalize is that if, and it remains a significant if, a revaluation were to occur, the initial window for action will be incredibly narrow. The global foreign exchange market is a $7.5 trillion per day beast, and it moves with breathtaking speed. The moment any official, significant change is announced, the arbitrage opportunities will be snapped up in milliseconds by institutional algorithms and major financial players. For the average person, the opportunity will not be in beating the banks to the punch, but in having a clear, premeditated plan of action for the aftermath. This is not the time for frantic, emotional decisions. It is the time for calm, calculated preparation. Your immediate focus should not be on constantly refreshing exchange rate pages, but on fortifying your own financial knowledge and understanding the practical mechanics of currency exchange. Do you know the difference between the buy rate and the sell rate? Do you understand the spread that banks and currency exchanges will take, which could be substantial, especially on exotic currencies? Have you considered the tax implications of such a windfall, because you can be certain the government will? These are the unglamorous, yet utterly essential questions that will determine your real-world outcome far more than the specific rate itself. Let's be brutally honest. The online space surrounding the dinar and dong is saturated with hype, fear-mongering, and conflicting information designed to generate clicks and sell newsletters rather than to provide clarity. Your greatest shield against this chaos is verified, original information. Do not take any single source, including this one, as gospel. Your mission, starting the moment this video ends, is to become your own chief intelligence officer. Go directly to the primary sources. Bookmark the official website of the Central Bank of Iraq and the State Bank of Vietnam. Follow their press releases. Read the public statements from the International Monetary Fund regarding these countries. This is the raw, unfiltered data that matters, free from the spin of middlemen and speculators. By educating yourself on the official narratives and the hard economic data, you arm yourself with the discernment to separate the legitimate news from the orchestrated frenzy. This is how you move from being a passive spectator to an active, prepared participant in your own financial future. The alert from Bank of America, when viewed through this lens, is not a guarantee of wealth. It is a wake-up call to prepare. It is a signal that the underlying fundamentals are in motion and that your personal timeline for getting your affairs in order may be much shorter than you think. The revaluation story is, at its heart, a story about global economic reintegration, and whether it happens tomorrow or in 5 years, the direction of travel is clear. The nations are changing and the financial world is taking quiet, deliberate note. Your job is to ensure you are not left behind, relying on second-hand information when the moment of truth arrives. The power to navigate this potential life-changing event lies not in luck, but in the proactive steps you take today. Get informed, get organized, and get ready. The quiet updates are happening. The reforms are being implemented. The question is, are you prepared? If this conversation has been valuable to you, if it has provided clarity and a roadmap for the path ahead, then I need you to take action right now. Do not let this be just another video you watch and forget. Your future self will thank you for the steps you take today. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel with notifications on, and most importantly, share your thoughts and your own research in the comments below. We are building a community of prepared, informed individuals here, and your voice is a critical part of that conversation. Let's continue this discussion below. I will be there reading and responding. Thank you for watching, and remember, stay informed, stay vigilant, and stay ready.